Guys did a great job of transitioning, understanding our concepts, our schemes, how we practice, the way we transition, and then being able to apply that in team reps. So we're very fortunate for the opportunity. The guys continue to put their best foot forward and put themselves in a position to where they can control the present, and then whatever happens down the road for these guys at the next level, they'll have that opportunity and they'll be ready.
And Coach, if Mark Anderson, AD.
How you doing?
Good. If you notice with the increase in number of players in the transfer portal, that's had any effect on player development?
I mean, I think it's kind of a complex deal because it depends on where they go and where they're coming from. We talk about the basic fundamentals of X's and O's and techniques and those natures. I don't think so, but when you talk about camaraderie and then understanding the type of team that you're on, I think those deals are kind of it goes hand in hand with that when you're in that transfer portal. But I don't think necessarily the technique and fundamentals doesn't really change. It's a case-by-case situation on where they end up going to school, who they're coached by, and things of that nature, Mark.
Do you think learning different systems can actually be a benefit to?
Yes. My definition of experience is what you've been exposed to and how you grow from it. So the more things that you're exposed to, because there's some players that they've been at the same university and they've had 4 different position coaches. You hear that a lot, 4 or 5 different position coaches. At that time, that is hard because you don't get into a groove and you don't get to understand that scheme within and then the levels within that scheme. But the more things that you're exposed to, the more you're able to grow. And that's if that person's willing to grow from those situations.
Thank you.
No problem.
Coach Tony Pauling, Pro Football Network.
How you doing,
As far as
Tony?
the practices are concerned, what is the number one thing that you're looking for to take away, regardless of position? Something that'll make you go, wow, about it, regardless of position.
I think the top things that we're looking for in our perspective for Falcons is if guys have adaptability, being able to adapt to new schemes, new concepts, because everything right now is foreign to them, what we're teaching them. And then the ability to go out there and then apply what they're learning, whether it's from meetings to practice, from those indie drills in practice to the team reps, and then the ability to compete. We're looking for highly competitive guys. We're looking for guys, they might not win the first rep, but do they come back and try to win the second, third, fourth rep? So the adaptability, having that growth mindset, and then being able to compete, Tony.
And can you talk about the competitive advantage that you and the Falcons have working teams here?
Mm-hmm. I think it's great. We have the opportunity to get hands-on, and we are here for a week with these guys and getting the opportunity to sit down one-on-one, whether you're sitting down in the cafeteria, install meetings, we're walking out to practice. We get those opportunities to get more in-depth questions. Like we might have certain questions on certain players. We get to answer those questions while we're here. And then also, too, I think it helps with us helping the NFL. We're out here helping 31 other teams evaluate players, too, as well. Yes, it is our advantage because we're with them day in and day out. But when we're going out to practice, there might be questions on certain players. Hey, can this guy play in space? Well, hopefully, while we're here as the Falcons organization, we can help answer those questions for other teams, too, as well.
Thanks.
No problem.
Ian Cummings, PFN. Obviously, it's a unique setting, gathering all these players that you're just now, introducing yourself to and kind of putting them in a team setting. How much information can you glean from one practice, and when do you get to the point where you're able to gauge progression throughout the week?
I think you can gain a lot of information from your first practice. It's just more so as a coaching staff, as a scouting department, what are we digging deep in? What are we looking for? It's a great opportunity for our staff and our coaching staff and our personnel department to be able to look at a lot of things. But we're looking at it too for our players. We're letting them know we're taking baby steps. It's a slow drip process. We're slowly installing stuff for these guys in. And then as the week goes on, they'll be able to answer more and more questions for us. And there's a lot of guys that get drafted from the Shrine Bowl. I know my experience working with the Chargers, and I did it back in 17 and 18. In those 2 years, we took about 2 to 3 players from the East-West. And it was a great opportunity for me as a coach to be able to come back to our organization and give them in-depth answers for players that we were looking at.
And going off of that, how exciting is it for you as a coach? You have a unique interpretation of each player's upside, their potential as you get introduced to them. How exciting is it for you as through the week you start to see more and more of that?
It's very exciting. I'm very excited for all these players out here because their best days are yet to come, in their football career, and being able to help them get better both on and off the field. And then also, too, as you move years down the road, you see these guys playing on different teams and you see their success. It's really cool, and it's a really rare opportunity that we get as a coaching staff.
One more question for Coach.
How much when you're out here today and then the rest of the week are you coaching this team and getting this team ready to play versus trying to evaluate. Are you able to, for the Falcons, are you able to do those things simultaneously, or do you sort of have to turn your brain on?
No, I believe you can do that simultaneously, and at the same time as we're prepping it, we're going out there to go out there and compete and win this game, and have our guys be in the best position to go out there and showcase their talent, both individually and collectively. And as we're doing that, those are opportunities for us to evaluate them. So I think we could do both hand in hand and still get both of them accomplished at a high level.
Awesome. Thank you, Coach.
All right, appreciate you guys. You guys take care.
Awesome. Thanks, Coach. Next up, we'll have Aidan O'Connell, quarterback from Purdue, quarterback of the East team. Aidan? Aidan, how'd practice go today?
It was great. It was fun to be out here. Obviously, a new situation, one that's different than playing in college. You got a lot of good players around you. It's fun to be out here. It's a beautiful morning. Installing new stuff. It's kind of whirlwind last couple of days and kind of a full-out sprint this week. So, but a lot of fun playing football.
So you have to play against a lot of really tough defenses, the Big Ten, Wisconsin, Minnesota, all that. Out of all of the great players that you had to go against, was there a particular one that stuck out in your mind this year that you'd rather not have to play against again?
Yeah, and because they're really good, I probably will have to play against them again. Joey Porter from Penn State was a great player. Gave us trouble in press man, and that was a while ago. It was week 1, and then the young guy Will Johnson at Michigan. Those are just 2 off the top of my head. There's a lot more, but those are just 2 off the top of my head.
Could you detail your approach to studying the playbook they gave you for the Shrine Bowl?
Yeah, I'm a big flashcards guy. So it's flashcards, drawing the play on one side, writing the play on the other, and just kind of flipping through that. And there's steps to it. You memorize the play, but you get it, first time getting in the earpiece, and so you get in the huddle and try to execute it the best you can.
As a quarterback, you're hoping to perform and grow this week, obviously, but a lot of that also has to do with the QB wide receiver connection, chemistry. Talk to me about, convening here with new wide receivers and gaining that chemistry throughout the week. How does that process go out for you, and how much are you able to gain through one practice?
Yeah, it's kind of baptism by fire. You never thrown with these guys before, so you don't know, what they like to do, what they don't like to do. I tried to watch a little film on each before I got here this week, but they're different body types, different speeds. They come out of cuts differently, and it's their first time running these routes too. So you kind of roll with the punches and trust your eyes and let it rip.
Just having a lot of experience as a starting quarterback, you obviously had some turnover at Purdue at wide receiver. Does that help you integrate with new wide receivers?
Yeah, I think so. You get accustomed to new guys. Obviously, this is a much more accelerated process with having a short week. But yeah, you try to watch the film, see what guys like to do, see their tendencies, and again, just trust your eyes.
Can you give an example of what you saw in film that helped you working with guys?
Yeah, we knew that I threw a dig to A.T. Perry today, and he's a long, lanky guy. Maybe, and I threw one later to I can't remember who, but A.T.'s was a little more deeper. I think he was a couple of yards deeper than I can't remember. I can't remember the second dig, but he's a little shorter. So the first one I had to layer over the linebackers a little bit. The second one was in the window. So it's just stuff like that. Guys with bigger strides, the shorter strides, adjust just slightly.
All good? Awesome. Thanks, Aidan.
Thanks, guys.